I tried everything. For 17 years, this was a problem for me. So, I mean, I did like the prescriptions, the over-the-counter meds, the homeopathic like meds, um, all the sleep aids you can think of, on top of like meditation and like binaural beats, and buying fancy beds and the nice bedding, sleep masks, not drinking caffeine. I mean, all the things, like everything that you can imagine. Because like I said, this has been about a 17-year journey of dealing with not sleeping. So I like to problem solve, and so I have tried all the things. I think the reason why the other things didn't work for me before was I was just kind of living in fear and anxiety with it. Like it was always something that was this difficult, terrifying thing in the back of my head. And, I've got kids and a husband and a life, and I just kind of took the easy way out, like was my, which it wasn't easy at all, but that was my way of like, I can't figure this out right now. Like I don't have time. And so I just, I just kind of dealt with living in fear and anxiety, and did what I could to take medication and try other things to fix it. But I never would actually try to get to the root of the problem. So before working with Sleep Science Academy, my sleep was very scattered. I would have some good nights because I was highly medicated, but mostly bad nights. And whether I slept or didn't sleep, I would always wake up feeling like I was hit by a freight train. So very just like zombie-like. And it would take me about half the day just to get momentum and feel like a normal human being again. So yeah, it was very I never knew if I was going to be able to sleep that night or not. After working with Sleep Science Academy, it's so much better and more consistent. And even when it's not, I'm not afraid. Like, so, and with the consistency, I also don't wake up feeling like a total zombie. I wake up feeling like a human. And then I have a lot more grace with myself if I still have, the occasional off night. It doesn't affect me the way it used to. I just don't let it take over my whole world like I used to. So, yeah. So before I started to sleep better, I would say it took me I took about 2 weeks to wean off of my medication because I was on a lot of different, like I said, all the different kinds. And so I took about 2 weeks to wean off of my medication, and then as well, just to learn some tools, get some tools under my belt and learn what and how the program was, and kind of understand a little bit what I was doing. And so I would say probably the first week I was sleeping a lot better, even while I was weaning off of the medication. My brain was just in a much better place. And then by, I would say probably 2.5 to 3 weeks, I was sleeping 1,000 times better and off of all my medication, which I honestly never thought that would be possible. Like I just kind of really owned being an insomniac and thought that was my life forever. So by week 3, I was astounded that I could sleep on my own and fall asleep on my own and go back to sleep, because I was out of fear if I had to go to the bathroom or something, I was going to be awake. And I would get kind of giddy because I could like go to the bathroom and then get back in bed and go back to sleep fine. So, yeah, it was a couple of weeks because I took it very seriously, but I can't believe that just in 3 weeks I was able to sleep on my own without any medication. So that would probably be my answer. So my experience with working with Sleep Science Academy was, I took it very seriously. Like I spent a lot of time. I kind of treated it kind of like a college course. Like I did everything every single day. I worked on it, and then I printed it out. I made a binder. I wrote notes. I highlighted things, and then I would take everything that I learned and put it into my daily life, into action, and so that I could practice it and do all of the things. And then I would do my coaching calls and group sessions and things like that. And everyone was so friendly and educated and just non-judgmental. And so I did my end, I did my end of the job, and Sleep Science Academy did their end, and it all just came together beautifully. So it was a really wonderful experience. Yeah, so highly recommend. So improving my sleep has improved my life in every way, every aspect. Something that I have said that I realized kind of from the very beginning, that I say to everyone, that I talk about this too, because I've told all my friends and family, because it's just kind of miraculous to me. But I say Sleep Science Academy is more like an intense life coaching program, and then getting good sleep is just kind of one of the byproducts. So because it changed every aspect of my life when I put the tools into practice, it wasn't just my sleep that shifted. It was a lot of other things that I was doing throughout the day, because that I learned that how you sleep at night is based a lot by what and how you do things during the day. And so relationships, health wise, my children, my productivity, my confidence in myself and what I'm capable of. I could go on and on. Yeah. I would say this program is designed for anyone and everyone that has any kind of sleep issue, big or small. And honestly, anyone that's just kind of wanting some life skills, just to some life management tools to better themselves. But obviously it is a sleep program, so anyone that has ever had any kind of sleep problems, because I've also learned there's not just the old timer 17 years insomniacs. There's people that dealt with trauma or something's going on in their life, or stress, or different things that make people struggle to sleep. And I think these tools, everyone should absolutely have. Everything that I learned, I would then go and teach my husband because it was so helpful. And then he would take those tools and put them into his life. And he doesn't have sleep problems at all, but he's learned a lot that he didn't know or understand. So honestly, I would say anyone, but I was going to tell someone that's just starting out on their journey of this Sleep Science Academy, there'd be probably three main things. One, this is possible. You just have to trust their process. And that's a big ask, but because most people that can't sleep, they, I didn't believe it, but I was just so desperate. So one, that it is possible, and you have to just have faith and trust the process and do, what you're supposed to do. And two, I would say, take it seriously, because I just feel the more, when I say take it seriously, and that means in your in your own way. But the more you put these things into practice and, you know, take your coaching calls and the program seriously and try to implement, you know, the homework, I guess you could call it, or the different things into your life, the more I think it integrates and shows up as learning how to sleep on your own. And then thirdly, which I kind of think is a huge thing, is to be 1,000,000% vulnerable with yourself, and honest with yourself, and be very open to learning about yourself. You know, triggers, habits, beliefs, just things like that. Be very open to figuring out kind of how you tick, and that, you know, takes some work and takes some diving deep. But that was the funny thing I told my husband, is I was like, I always said before, like, I just kind of took the easy way out by just trying to take medications and stuff like that. But now that I put in the time and the effort and I chose myself and did the work, life is so much easier now than every night of my life stressing about, am I going to sleep? How am I going to sleep? What am I going to do to sleep? And then if I don't, you know, and all the ways that it just trickled off and affected my entire life. So, yeah, that's probably my biggest thing, is to be open and vulnerable to learning and growing as a human being. And I think the more that you do that, like, the better success that you'll have with this program. That's how, at least, it was for me.